What's going on, party people? I made a short last week talking smack about this proposed 50-year mortgage.
I told that bitch like, ooh, baby, what you wishing for?
For anyone wondering, that's my boy Craig, and he likes water, I guess. He's a good boy. Roll the montage of Craig. Subscribe so Craig can eat. Now, I may be beating a dead bush knowing how the internet goes with how fast topics become irrelevant, but I don't really care. I feel like this needs to be talked about. Oh yes, the 50-year mortgage. For anyone with a brain-rotted attention span, the short answer is that, well, it's a dog shit idea. Now, I'm no finance man, but I would consider myself to be somewhat competent when it comes to talking about financial things, especially when it comes to mortgages. That's simply because I own one, and I've been down the mortgage route, and I've witnessed the good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to a lifetime loan such as a mortgage. And before I get into some points on why the 50-year is such a dog shit idea, I will say getting into a mortgage is a smart idea. It's a good investment, as long as it's not the 50-year. A 30-year mortgage is very good, but a 15-year is even better as long as you can afford it. It all comes down to affordability. The 28-36 rule is a good rule to follow when it comes to guiding yourself through this process. But just like anything in life, this is something that you have to take serious and actually prepare for. You need to be financially stable before jumping into this. You will need to have a substantial down payment, especially in this shitty ass market. Also, depending on your debt situation, because I know if you live in America, you probably have some sort of debt, and if you don't, congratulations. Make sure to have that shit cleaned up. So remember, kids, the goal is to get to the finish line without owing these banks anything. So having a mortgage and debt combined can put you into a lifetime hole of absolute hell. But having an affordable mortgage, that's the way to go, because you're not throwing fucking money at the wall like you are rent, and you're building equity for yourself. And there's probably a lot of people that say they can't buy a house right now because this market is so ass backwards. I get it, but this is the norm. Houses are inflated. I don't think they're going to come down anytime soon, so pinch your pennies and don't buy anything stupid on the damn credit card. Put your money towards the house, or some sort of investment that isn't, I don't know, fucking Labubu's or something. Anyways, I'm not going to ramble too hard about that. Let's get back to the point with the Craig short that I made. No, I said that a 50-year mortgage is a joke, and God, I still hope it is a joke, but given the way that society is going, I doubt that it is. This version of the mortgage is, yes, going to give you a lower monthly payment, but it is going to stretch the interest out so damn hard for almost double the length of a 30-year mortgage. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You heard me. Double the fuckery. Now, before I go into this, I just want to say that all the examples that I will be showing in this video are based with a flat 6% interest rate. That will just be to make it easier for me to explain the numbers, but this will not be the case in real life. Typically, the lower terms that you have, the lower the interest rate is going to be. Say a 15-year will be lower than a 30-year, and a 30-year will be lower than a 50-year, so on and so forth. Now, if you look at the image, you can see a vast difference between the 30-year and the 50-year loan. It is absolutely disgusting. It's fucking vulgar to look at, so try not to bleach your eyeballs. I even threw the 15-year mortgage in there for the hell of it. So for anyone looking at this cross-eyed, not knowing what the hell is going on, let me explain to my best of abilities. The one on the far left is the good old 15-year mortgage. From my understanding, this was the first mortgage adopted and established in the good old United States Freedomville. Now, if we look at the 15-year, it shows a higher monthly payment compared to the 30-year, almost an $800 difference in this example, which is pretty substantial. But if we look below that, you can see the total interest saved is over double what you would be paying on a 30-year mortgage. For anyone unaware, principal is what you keep out of the house. It's what you own on the property, and the interest is what the bank pockets from your payments. Now, with all this being said, let's look at the most common mortgage, the 30-year. And with this example, you can see that you are paying around $347,000 on top of the original $300,000 loan. So if we take a step back, that's about a 1-to-1 ratio in the loaner's favor. It's highway robbery, but it's the most accessible option that we have in today's society. Now let's kick it up a notch. If we shift over to the dog shit that is the 50-year mortgage, we can see that the payment only goes down by $200 a month. You know what that is in today's society? That's a Big Mac and some medium fries from McDonald's, man. And that's on the $300,000 loan. That is a 13% savings if I did my math correctly. Like, cool, man. You get a 13% savings from the 30 years, so you can go hit the strip club with that difference. But the fun part is you get to almost pay double the interest now. 647,000 doubloons. Isn't that just so much fun? They can just take your money and run like nothing even happened. No wonder the banks are fucking backing this so damn hard right now. So I feel like I was pretty generous with this example. Let's take the average and medium home prices in the good old freedom country that we call home and get the numbers of $512,000 for the average house and let's say $435,000 for the median house. On top of that, let's say we use $50,000 for a down payment on a home. Seems to be the common number that I see people try to hit before stepping foot into the home buying world. Using the same formula we did with the other example, we can see that these numbers somehow get more and more terrible. If we take our average home price, $512,800, and subtract $50,000, that being our down payment from it, we get a total of $462,800 loan, that being your principal. As we can see with the 50-year, you are making the bank almost $1 million smackaroos. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a hell of a deal. But now, before you start bitching saying, oh, median is way better than average, here you go. $435,000 minus the $50,000 down payment, you get the $385,000 principal. And boom! As you can see, it's dog shit, obviously. Around $830,000 in interest, yet you are only saving around 10 to 20% on your monthly cost. Now, I don't know about you, but I want to own my home one day. I know, crazy thought, and I don't want to make these loaners more money than they deserve. So the 15-year or the 30-year should always be the goal to hit. And like I said earlier, man, it's a hell of a deal, obviously. So if you want to go with that 50-year mortgage, go for it. But just know this, you'll never own your home in your life. And I have some evidence to back that. If you look at the graphs on the screen that I just put on here, the first one that I'm going to be showing is a 15-year mortgage graph and chart. As you can see by the graph, the green is your interest and the blue is your balance. But more importantly, if you look at the schedule, we can see that in your first year, we are paying more interest than principal. Now with a 15-year mortgage, even though the payments are higher per month, we can see that we have a pretty good ratio when it comes to payments towards principal and payments towards interest. If you look, you actually start paying more towards the principal by only year 4, which is absolutely amazing, and it is a main reason you should do a 15-year mortgage as long as it falls into your budget. Now let's look at good old trusty. Let's look at a 30-year mortgage. Now again, we can see our payments fall off a cliff here, but we are going to be paying more interest over the long haul, causing it to be a longer wait time to actually outright own our home. And unlike the 15-year, we won't see a turn on our investment until year 19 when we will start seeing more principal payments over interest. So comparing that to the 15-year mortgage, that is literally a 15-year wait until we start seeing that money actually work in our favor rather than against us. All right, let's look at the big, bad, ugly, hideous ass 50-year mortgage. And boom. You may need to get out your reading glasses and see all of those years of wasted money. It looks like you're reading a fucking dictionary from outer space, man. Again, we can probably expect to save around 10% on your payments, but you're not going to be paying principal on any of these payments for the first 39 years. Well, obviously you're going to be paying some principal, but you won't be over that hurdle that we're just talking about with the 15-year and the 30-year of getting more principal than interest on your payments until you're 39. Now, I don't think it's going to take a mega mind to tell you how shit this is. People in today's age won't even be able to afford a down payment until they're like in their 30s, sometimes even 40s. You are essentially locking them into this dog shit until they're in their 80s, man. Maybe even 90s, who knows? Paying around $1 million in interest for a $385,000 loan. That's absolutely disgusting. I don't know how the hell they think they can just get away with this. Hell, man, by the time you're fucking 80 or 90, you'll be 1 foot in the grave, if not dead, by the time you even start getting any equity back on this house plan. One of the biggest investments we can make in our lives is a Roth IRA and real estate. That's all we have as the little man, right? And this is just robbing you of one of those. If we look at the average time someone stays inside their home, it is just a short 11 to 12 years on average, and Gen Z is saying that they only stay stay in their houses for around 5 years, making it essentially just rent for the vast majority of us if we go with the 50-year plan. Your equity will just basically be nothing on these homes unless you again stay in them for 30 to 40 years, which, like the data shows, as humans we tend to want more to get into a bigger home, to upgrade and move on with our lives. And just for the people who don't know, mortgages are a set rate, at least here in the US. I know you can get some fluctuating rates, which don't do that, my god. But there are so many hidden costs when it comes to owning real estate. You can have your bills that can fluctuate, and then you have the big dogs: home insurance, property taxes, and HOA if it applies to your house. These will keep increasing over the years in most cases, and the only thing that I can see as leverage is the equity that I am putting back into my house with the payments that I make. With all this being said, the 50-year mortgage just doesn't work. It's fucking dumb. It seems like this is just another plot for the rich to get richer and to keep the normal people down in the gutter. What's new? People can't even afford homes, and it seems like this may be the only option in the future for people who want to own a home. And when I say own, I mean rent. Because with that 50-year mortgage, you ain't owning shit, buddy. There are definitely more layers to the onion here that I have not covered, but hopefully I got the point across for not signing up for the 50-year mortgage. It's horrible. It'll cripple you over the long haul. If you like this content, please consider subscribing. I'm a new channel and I like posting about all sorts of stuff, from video games to stupid shit in the news to life stories and events. I will be putting some more videos on the end screen to check out, and it would mean the world to me if you guys did. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.